Injuries. Zion had 40 last night, but left a tie game with 3 minutes to go because of a leg problem, and the Lakers took advantage, winning by 4 to grab the 7th seed and the right to play the champs, a Denver team which has dominated L.A. in recent times. Here's Dave McMenamin with more.
The prize for the Los Angeles Lakers surviving Monday's play-in tournament win against the New Orleans Pelicans is a first-round matchup with the Denver Nuggets. That team that swept LA out last spring and has won 8 straight overall against the Lakers. A daunting opponent, sure, but the Lakers made it known the only path they considered was to win.
There was a report of what?
It wasn't a report, it was TV talking stuff. It was that maybe
Saying what again?
it'd be better off if you guys lost this game to avoid Denver to play.
Insane asylum sources say.
Sure.
Nah. If you
It
can
wasn't sourced. It wasn't.
Okay.
It was just a chat.
It's a defending champion. They know what it takes. They know how to win. They've been extremely dominant in their home floor over the last few years. They got a MVP on their team. They got a closer on their team. They got high-level players, high IQ players. They got a hell of a coach. We have to play mistake-free basketball and make it tough on them. They're going to try to make it tough on us, obviously. As great as game we can play, they're going to play as great as game they play. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 possessions. We'll see who executes them.
I think we're clicking at the right time. We still have a lot to, accomplish, and our goal wasn't to win 12 out of 15. Obviously, we're taking it one game at a time, but I think we're clicking at the right time. Guys are playing well. Guys are very confident. Guys have found their rhythms, and we're going to need it, especially for this series.
Anthony Davis told me all the talk about tanking to try to avoid Denver reminded him of a lesson he learned from his old coach, Monty Williams, a long time ago. Quote, mess with the game and it will mess with you. If the Lakers want to be the champs, they'll have to take out the champs. In New Orleans, I'm Dave McMenamin, ESPN.
Fun matchup. Let's bring on our NBA analyst Tim Legler here for more on this. So, Legs, as we made a bunch of this, last year's Western Conference Finals rematch, it only took the Nuggets 4 games to take out the Lakers, and the Lakers will be underdogs again. But what did you see last night that perhaps could bode well for L.A. in a best-of-7 here?
Well, look, I expect LeBron James and Anthony Davis to hold their own in this series. The question is always with the Lakers is going to be, where does the supplemental offense come from? And D'Angelo Russell's had a very, very good year, but you still are wondering, is he going to be able to do that in big spots? And I just thought the 2 stars got a lot of help last night. I thought Austin Reeves was great. D'Angelo Russell was great, including, I think, the biggest shot of the game and defensive play that he made on the steal, hits the 3 on the other end. And then Rui Hachimura, I thought, gave them great minutes and great contribution as well. That is what the Lakers are going to need against a team like Denver. No, I don't think anybody's going to necessarily pick the Lakers to beat the Denver Nuggets, but I think it'd be foolish to think the Lakers cannot win a couple games in this series and go toe-to-toe and give the Denver Nuggets like some real threat in the fourth quarter of some of these games. I think the Lakers will be in these games. The key is going to be how do Russell, Hachimura, Reeves, and the rest of that supporting cast play. And last night, I thought they stepped up in a big way.
All right, game 1 goes Saturday on ABC. Legs, stay right there. Let's go back to Drew now for what could be the end of this great Warriors run.
Yeah, David, while the Lakers move on, the Warriors head home. As soon as the beam was lit and they started the buses for the trip back to San Francisco, the discussion started. Was this the last time we saw Steph, Clay, and Draymond play together? Kendra Andrews in the capital city to put a bow on the season. Tell us what could be next for Golden State.
The Warriors season ended at the hands of a Kings team that, as Stephen Curry put it, fully dominated them. It capped off one of the Warriors' most emotional seasons to date, and it put everything that they've accomplished over the last decade.
It's so emotional. It's, the highs and lows of this business are incredible. That's why we're all kind of addicted to it. You can't find this anywhere else in life. I know I can't. And you have to absorb the lows. We've been really blessed here with amazing players and multiple championships and finals appearances and the highest of highs. And this is the flip side. This is life. This is how it works. You don't get to stay on top forever.
It's a horrible feeling. You go out there and compete, leave it all out there, and it doesn't go your way. We obviously understand you can't win it every year, but there is so much belief that we could make something of this season and keep our hopes alive, trying to get a win tonight and taking it from there. Definitely frustrating, disappointing, to say the least. But you hold your head high knowing there's a lot more in the tank.
Now, the biggest question heading into the offseason is if Klay Thompson, who's an unrestricted free agent, will return. Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, and Steve Kerr all expressed post-game their want and need to have Klay back. Curry said he can't imagine not playing alongside Draymond and Klay. And Draymond said there is no scenario in which the Warriors don't make the best decision for the team, which is to try and bring Klay back. In Sacramento, Kendra Andrews, ESPN.
All right, Tim. The Warriors last night, the season ends in a blowout loss against the Kings, of course. Klay Thompson is a free agent. How do you see the team moving forward in the offseason?
Well, this is difficult. I know a lot of people just want to throw out phrases like blow it up. I just think it's easier said than done because you still have Steph Curry, who is a championship caliber player, and it's incumbent upon you as an organization to make sure there's parts around him to give him an opportunity to continue to be relevant in the Western Conference. And to just say blow it up, well, what are the assets you think you're going to get to replace what you already have? I'm not going to say it's easy, and I certainly think as constructed, this core is not going to contend again. So now they've got to get really creative. Klay Thompson's the most interesting case because I think if Klay Thompson, could have had a big night last night. Let's say they win the game, they get into a best-of-7 round, but they win another game, then they're in a best-of-7 series. And Klay Thompson is sporadic, but still has splashy moments where he looks like a guy that can still help you on that level. I think it's easier to make an argument of why you're going to give him a nice deal this summer. To go out that way, coming on the heels of the way he finished last year against the Lakers when he really struggled and their season ended, it's a very difficult thing for the Warriors now to move forward and figure out what is the appropriate amount of money to offer Klay Thompson, and is that going to be something that's interesting to him? Look, he may have made up his mind. I'll never leave the Warriors. I don't know. Maybe. That's where he wants to finish his career. But if that's the case, he has to understand he's going to have to take significantly less money, and that's going to be an interesting decision for him. And then just the supplemental parts around Curry. I think they need to change their approach with their point guard play, with more athleticism on this team and guys that can create their own shot, because you saw Sacramento get into them defensively, and they just didn't have enough guys that could create offense to deal with that level of physicality.
Well, the Warriors' Big Three has 518 wins in the regular season and playoffs combined. That's sixth most by a trio all time. Tim Legler on SportsCenter. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
All right, good morning. I'm Greeny in New York. We have so much to do. Getting up with you in just a few minutes. No time to waste. A lot more on the future of the Warriors core. Should they bring Klay Thompson back? We're going to get into all of that, or do we say goodbye to the